If you didn't see my first video about stock photography, please watch that one first and then come back here, because in that video I'm gonna explain you what is stock photography and how to make money. You're gonna have a full understanding, but in this one you're gonna learn how to shoot to make sure you sell, how to edit those pictures to make them look more professional, and what you have to avoid to don't be rejected by the companies. Okay guys, so first things first. It doesn't matter if you just started with stock photography or you are an expert. If you are an expert, probably you know already, but you have to follow the briefs. If you don't follow the briefs, you're gonna be super lost. You're gonna be going around with your camera or your phone, taking pictures of things that are meaningless and the stock photography websites don't need. So please follow the briefs. The best simple way is go to those photography forums and check what they are posting, because in their own websites they follow the trends and they tell you what to shoot. They send you as well weekly newsletters you have to follow, so don't do this thing of unsubscribe, because in this occasion is very useful. Every week I receive briefs from Getty Images and they tell me what they need, the keywords companies are looking for, and then I shoot focus on that part. They tell me straight away what I have to shoot, and this makes things way easier. For example, during the lockdown, we were in isolation and I was like, okay, I'm gonna buy a mask, I'm gonna do self-portraits with the mask in a studio to do more like conceptual pictures, but then as well, through the glass door of my patio, I put myself in the other side, the camera on the other side, and I did some self-portraits with the mask and using my phone to represent the isolation and the quarantine situation. So that's the way to follow the trends. When there is something trend, shoot something about that, because it's gonna sell. Because newspapers buy pictures, editorial publishing companies as well, magazines, everyone is buying pictures, bloggers as well. So you have to follow the trend, because this is gonna make you increase your sales 100%. I do talk about this in the video I shared before this one, but I have to point it out again because it's never enough. Model and property releases. For every single person that appears in your picture, including yourself, you need to fill and sign a model release. Same goes, for example, when you are traveling and you are taking pictures of locals, you will need their consent as well. You cannot sell those pictures at all unless you put them under editorial section. Every website, almost every website, have an editorial section, which means you can actually use those pictures to sell, but the companies that are gonna buy those pictures are just newspapers normally, because it's people who is using those pictures just to inform to the public about something. It's not to make money. If someone is gonna buy a picture to make money with it, to advertise a travel company, for example, they are making money with that picture. So that's commercial. Editorial is when you are informing, but what happened with editorial is like they sell much less. So I don't recommend you to post in editorial too much, because you're not gonna sell that much. Make sure you get the model release, so then that picture can be used for commercial use and you're gonna make more money. And same goes for properties. When there is a private property or a landmark building, if you are shooting outside the Eiffel Tower or museums, which are quite important, you will need as well a property release. I'm sorry to say that it happened to me, because I was shooting the Guggenheim Museum in Bilbao and they told me no. They told me those pictures they could put it just in editorial, which I did, but they didn't even sell yet. So save yourself time if you want to post something like that, because if you don't have a property release, you're not gonna be able to make money with it and the website is gonna reject it or put it under the editorial segment. Make sure there is not logos in your pictures, even if they are super tiny and they are blurry and you think nobody's gonna see them. They will see them, believe me, because it happened to me at the beginning. I sent some pictures to Getty Images from Cuba and they replied to me regarding 3 pictures, I think they were, and they told me remove those logos first and we will post them. And I was like, which logos? I honestly didn't see them because I didn't zoom in properly in the pictures. When I zoom in Photoshop, I realized there were like very tiny stickers in an old car and some logos in the street, and I had to remove them. This is super important, guys. What you have to do now, because you're gonna be able to shoot knowing this, is prepare the scenario and try to don't shoot where there is a lot of brands or logos or recognizable brands in clothing, because you're gonna be able to save a lot of time in post-production. Otherwise, you're gonna burn out. It's gonna take you forever to upload those pictures, and you're gonna burn out super easy. So first, prepare the photo shoot. If you are shooting with models, for example, try to make them wear clothing where there is no brands or recognizable logos or recognizable prints, because it happens as well. Maybe there is not a logo, but there is a very recognizable print, and people can identify that print with that mark. So don't do that neither, because they're gonna reject the picture. Be careful with every single logo, zoom in properly in post-production and clone them and remove them from there. And prior every photo shoot, try to avoid it from the beginning just to save time. Same goes for tattoos and any kind of art, street art. It happened to me as well with one picture from Cuba. There was a graffiti in the backdrop and I didn't even realize, and they made me remove the graffiti or get the property release of the graffiti owner. So I know this is a pain in the ass, but you have to do it or you won't sell those pictures, they will be rejected. And when you are shooting, for example, in a house and you have a painting hanging in the wall, you will have to sign a property release from the artist or the owner of the picture. So try to avoid this. Try to avoid to get the property releases, because sometimes it's impossible because you don't even know the artist, and try to remove those things. I know some things like that really zoom up in the picture and the picture looks nicer because it's there, but try to put something else which doesn't have an owner or an artist behind, because otherwise you're gonna be rejected. This is super important, guys, as well. A big bonus for you guys is thinking about copy space. You have to think that most of the companies that are buying the pictures, they need to put text on them. If they don't have space enough, they're gonna jump into other photographers' portfolio. So please make sure you are always doing frames with space enough. For example, how I am now, you don't have too much margin to put titles or headlines or anything. But if I do like this and I do like this, you have place right there to be able to place text. So make sure always to leave more space, and then the company, if they want, they will crop the picture, but always try to leave a space around, and that's a big plus for you guys. Always edit your pictures. Don't put them straight away from the camera, because they can tell and you can tell as well, and they don't look that professional. Always do basic corrections. Very important to don't use filters and don't put grain. This is a trend in Instagram, so save it for that, but don't use it for stock photography. For stock photography, they want basic edits, light correction, color correction, and white balance. That's all they want. They have to be perfect, but normal. No extra edited. So this is super important. And if you are working with portraits, as I do a lot, make sure you always retouch a bit the skin, the white of the eyes, the white of the teeth. Make sure you are doing a good job, because otherwise it's not gonna look too professional and your pictures gonna be synced and they're not gonna be bought. So make sure you edit professionally. I do have Adobe editing software. I use a photography bundle, which is I think £9.98 per month is subscription, but you get Lightroom for desktop, Lightroom for your iPad and your phone, which is great when you are traveling. You have Photoshop for desktop, and you have Photoshop now for iPad Pro if you own it, and it includes Adobe Spark. I always do my graphic design of my social networks with Adobe Spark, which is really good. You have the link in the description below. This is subscription, and I always use it because I'm client from Adobe since, I don't know, 10 years ago, more or less. But I do use as well another program you can buy if you don't want to pay subscription. It's just £69 and you buy it once and you own it. This is great for those who doesn't want to pay in a monthly basis. But then as well, if you are like me and you want to own both, it works like a plugin. So what this means is when you are in Lightroom, you can do your edits in Lightroom and then launch the plugin. I particularly use it for portraits. I edit everything I want in Lightroom. Then I open the plugin, Luminar, and then I edit by AI the skin, the features of the face in a super quick way. And then I carry on in Photoshop. I'm super picky with my pictures. I know it's a long process, but I use both. But if you want just one program, a standalone program, Luminar 4 is a very good option if you don't want to pay subscription. You have all the links in the description below. This is the software I use, and that's it. It's the only software I would recommend you guys because it's the one I trust and the one I try every single day and I love. Make sure you do the right selection as well. Send different angles, frames of the same photo shoot, even poses, but don't send similar pictures because they hate it. They're gonna reject them, the ones they don't like, and they're gonna select them for you, but they hate it, they don't like it. My first mistake was this. I was sending maybe instead sending 30 pictures of a session, I was sending 50. But so many of them, they were very similar and they rejected them and they don't like it. And you delay the submission process and this is not good for you and it's not good for them. So make sure you select the best ones and a good variety as well, and that's it. But make sure you do it and they don't have to do it for you. So many people fail on this. And I want to remind you as well to please subscribe to my channel and press the bell button to be notified about this. I'm gonna release another video about the stock photography, guys. It's gonna be about how to do titles, how to do the descriptions, and how to do the tags for your pictures. If you don't master this, it doesn't matter how good your pictures are, people are not gonna be able to find them. This is as important as shooting. So please make sure you pay attention to this channel and you see the next video and you learn stock photography properly. I promise you, you can make a lot of money from it if you learn properly. It's not such a thing as dropping pictures, as I mentioned before, and expect them to sell. You have to follow all the guidelines and I promise you, you're gonna make money. If you need any help, I'm always hanging out around here. There is already people asking me for help and I'm very happy to do it. So drop a question below and I will reply to you and I will see you next week, guys.